A few 100 million people in the world claim to be Eastern Orthodox. This video will prove that Eastern Orthodoxy is not true Christianity, but actually a heretical sect and a false religion. There are many serious problems with the theology of Eastern Orthodoxy. However, this video will focus primarily on one very important issue, namely, that Eastern Orthodoxy is heretical in its doctrine of God. Since Eastern Orthodoxy is not in fact Orthodox Christianity, as we will see, even though it purports to be, we typically refer to it as, quote, orthodoxy, and its followers as the, quote, orthodox. To avoid tedious repetition, however, in this video we will often just refer to the religion as Eastern Orthodoxy or orthodoxy, and its followers as the Orthodox. In Christianity there is one God in three divine persons, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. The three divine persons possess the exact same divine essence or nature or substance. That's why even though the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost are distinct persons, and each person is God, since each person has the exact same divine essence, there is only one God. If the divine essence were not one and undivided, there would not be just one God. However, after the controversy between Gregory Palamas and Barlaam in the 14th century, Eastern Orthodoxy officially committed itself to the view articulated by Gregory Palamas, whom they call Saint Gregory Palamas, that in God himself the essence is distinct and different from the energy. The position that in God there is a real distinction between his essence, ousia, and his energy, energeia, is the official teaching of Orthodoxy and has been since at least 1351. Those who study Orthodoxy have probably encountered the Palamite distinction, but many others are not familiar with it. We will explain why Orthodoxy's adoption of the Palamite distinction / the Palamite view of God devastates its claim to be Christianity. It proves that Orthodoxy is not even Trinitarian and monotheistic. Orthodoxy is actually polytheistic, as we will see. Orthodoxy's view of God is in fact heretical and blasphemous. In the 14th century there was an Orthodox cleric named Barlaam of Calabria. He visited the famous Orthodox monastery at Mount Athos in Greece. While there, he observed the strange practice of the monks who were known as hesychas or quietists. Quote, Barlaam had, when on a visit to Mount Athos, come in contact with the hesychas or quietists, a school which had lately sprung up amongst the monks of that famous monastery. They held the strange opinion that the soul had its seat in the umbilical region, by the intent contemplation of which they could discern the light which appeared at the transfiguration. End quote. The hesychas practiced a form of spirituality in which they claimed that through certain body positions, breathing techniques, prayer, and inner stillness, they could experience the uncreated light of God. They fixed their gaze on their navels, the area of their belly, and rested their chin on their chest. Quote, by fixing one's gaze on one's navel and resting one's chin on one's breast, one could make one's breathing coincide with the repetition of the prayer. End quote. One can recognize the similarity between the method of the Orthodox hesychas and the practices of Eastern pagan religions such as yoga, which also emphasize breathing, body position, and focusing within to make contact with, quote, the divine.
This breathing technique is called Kapalabhati Pranayama. By now you should feel a very palpable sensation of energy gathering in the head. Try to shepherd that energy forward through the brain. This is a technique that should take one into meditation, into deep stillness. Uplifted stillness.
Keep in mind that hesychasm actually means stillness, and the Orthodox hesychasts used breathing methods and focused on themselves to contact or experience the, quote, energy. The similarity to Eastern paganism is striking. Eastern pagan religions are, of course, all demonic. Their false gods are devils, and they are rooted in the satanic lie that God is to be sought within, or that God is one with nature. Hence, they seek the universal unifying principle which they believe can be found within the person to reach, quote, the divine. Those Eastern pagans attempt to contact the, quote, divine energy within themselves, just as the Orthodox hesychas fixed their gaze on themselves, on their bellies or hearts, in the hope of connecting with the, quote, uncreated energy. The similarity between hesychasm and Hindu yoga is so obvious that it's sometimes acknowledged in works written by adherents of Eastern Orthodoxy. For instance, Timothy Ware, a metropolitan bishop and well-known author who writes on behalf of the Orthodox Church, noted, quote, "One of the most thoroughgoing attempts in the history of Christian spirituality to ascribe a positive and dynamic role to the body during prayer was made by the 14th century Hesychast. As an accompaniment to the recitation of the Jesus Prayer, they proposed a physical technique that has obvious parallels in yoga and among the Sufis of Islam." End quote. Ware also says, quote, "Striking parallels exist between the physical techniques recommended by the Byzantine Hesychasts and those employed in Hindu yoga and in Sufism." End quote. He also says that the physical technique of the Hesychasts has three main aspects, quote, 1. External posture, 2. Control of the breathing, 3. Inward exploration. Just as the aspirant in yoga is taught to concentrate his thought in specific parts of his body, so the Hesychast concentrates his thought in the cardiac center." End quote. When Barlaam, an Orthodox cleric, discovered what the Hesychast monks believed and practiced, he attacked their practices and beliefs as absurd and superstitious, and eventually as blasphemous and heretical. Those practices included the alleged entry and departure of the intelligence through the nostrils with the breath, and the shields that gather together round the navel. Barlaam said that the monks had claimed to see the divinity with bodily eyes in the form of light. The Hesychast considered the light to be an uncreated light, and therefore God himself. It's interesting that various practitioners of yoga also claim to experience a golden light. Of course, this is not to deny that in true Christianity there are supernatural experiences. Rather, it is to expose the similarity between Eastern Orthodox hesychasm and the practice of pagan yoga, both of which are false. Here are some clips from an Eastern Orthodox priest in which he explains how Barlaam reacted to the practices of the Hesychast monks on Mount Athos.
He saw some of them using breathing techniques to enhance the rhythm of their prayer. He began to speak with them, to ask them what they thought they were doing. And they explained to him that they were praying the Jesus Prayer. He asked them more. They began to tell him more. They began to speak about the uncreated light. What is this uncreated light that you are talking about? Barlaam asked. And of course, the monks very innocently shared their experiences with him. And once Barlaam understood the essence of what they were doing, he was even more scandalized than he had been initially. And here is his critique, and he launched quite an attack on what they were doing. He said the method of prayer that they have, the so-called hesychastic method, the one I just described, with praying and repeating the Jesus Prayer seated with the head inclined towards the heart, was simply silly and superstitious at best. He also, when he heard them talking about the uncreated light, heard them talking about a distinction between essence and energies in God. He was horribly scandalized by this. He considered this heretical and superstitious. He identifies the energies completely with the divine essence. He develops a position which is antithetical to hesychasm, hesychasm being the word that we use to describe this whole phenomenon of prayer, way of praying, which we identify not only with St. Gregory Palamas, but we also identify with St. Gregory of Sinai, whom I mentioned, and we identify, in fact, quite simply, with the spiritual practice of the Orthodox Church.
In Orthodox literature, one will find the following quote attributed to Pseudo-Simeon. It recommends the hesychast to, quote, rest your beard on your chest and focus your physical gaze, together with the whole of your intellect, upon the center of your belly or your navel, end quote. And here's a quote from a yoga journal, quote, hold your gaze steady on one point, look within, concentrate. and if you're getting too distracted, close your eyes, end quote. In his famous work, The Triads, Gregory Palamas, who became Orthodoxy's major defender of the hesychast, endorsed the breathing method and staring at one's navel. Quote, "It is not out of place to teach people, especially beginners, that they should look at themselves and introduce their own mind within themselves through the control of breathing. And, quote, how should such a one not gain great profit if, instead of letting his eye roam, he should fix it on his breast or on his navel as a point of concentration? He will also, by disposing his body in such a position, recall into the interior of the heart a power which is ever flowing outwards." End quote. According to Palamas, the regulation of breathing, body position, and focusing on oneself recall into the interior a power which is flowing outwards. In his view, the power, which he calls, quote, the divine energy, is flowing outwards from within. This bears a striking resemblance to Eastern paganism.
By now you should feel a very palpable sensation of energy gathering in the head. Try to shepherd that energy forward through the brain. This is a technique that should take one into meditation, into deep stillness, uplifted stillness.
In the following clip, notice that this yoga instructor talks about the navel, the energy or power within, and the importance of breathing to connect with it.
This mudra, or hand position, will help us to contain the energy that we're going to generate with breath of fire. Breath of fire is a quick, continuous breath. It's the rhythm of a dog panting. When practicing breath of fire, we move the navel up and in rhythmically on the exhale.
The 13th century Orthodox hesychast monk Nikephoros also stated, quote, "You know that we breathe our breath in and out, so as I have said, sit down, recollect your mind, draw it. I am speaking of your mind in your nostrils. That is the path the breath takes to reach the heart. Drive it, force it to go down to your heart with the air you are breathing in." End quote. Since Barlaam was well regarded by the Orthodox, and his attacks on the hesychast monks were very serious, a major controversy erupted within Orthodoxy. This Orthodox priest explains,
When Barlaam leveled his charges against the monks, especially the monks of Mount Athos, the charges, because they were very serious, could not be left unanswered. This became an issue in Constantinople in which everyone became involved. They had never had someone from within the church. And so the attack had come, so to speak, from within.
So, to defend hesychasm and their views, the Orthodox monks on Mount Athos enlisted one of their own, Gregory Palamas, to dispute with Barlaam and make their case. Palamas did so in the famous work called The Triads in Defense of the Holy Hesychast, or simply The Triads. The Triads touches on a variety of issues, but the one on which we will focus here is the essence-energies distinction. We will examine what Palamas said on this matter, and we will show that it is definitely not Christian, but heretical and blasphemous. Now, it's crucial to recognize that Palamas's work on the essence-energies distinction is not just the view of one member of the Eastern Orthodox Church. The dispute between Barlaam and Palamas resulted in a number of back-and-forth condemnations, with Orthodoxy officially siding with Palamas and his essence-energies distinction. At a series of councils in Constantinople in the 14th century, the Orthodox Church made the essence-energies distinction its official teaching. The Orthodox, quote, Church has also endorsed Palamas's explanation in the Triads. As Metropolitan Orthodox Bishop Timothy Ware explains in the Orthodox Church, a book that is sometimes used as an Orthodox catechism, quote, "It was Gregory's achievement to set hesychasm on a firm dogmatic basis by integrating it into Orthodox theology as a whole. His teaching was confirmed by two councils held at Constantinople in 1341 and 1351, which, although local and not ecumenical, yet possess a doctrinal authority in Orthodox theology scarcely inferior to the 7 general councils themselves." End quote. Orthodox scholar John Meyendorff also stated in the book called St. Gregory Palamas and Orthodox Spirituality, quote, "The most important council met in July 1351 and condemned Palamas's last adversary. The synodal tome published by this council constitutes the official manifesto in which the Orthodox Church sanctioned the doctrine of Palamas." End quote. Orthodox proto-presbyter Maxim Lisak also states,
Balaam's position was condemned in 1341 at a council. Incredibly, this struggle between Balaam and St. Gregory Palamas did not finish there. Balaam had supporters in Constantinople, and what we discover is that there were people in Constantinople, intellectuals, who were opposed to hesychastic theology, what we now call simply Orthodox theology, because there's no real difference between the two. And we find that after Balaam's return to Italy, Gregory Akinzinos and Nikephoros Gregoras take up what Balaam had been doing before and launch a fresh attack on St. Gregory Palamas. More councils were called. 1347, another council. 1351. Finally, in 1351, this is considered the definitive and final council, and the synodal tomos of that synod is considered the normative statement of Orthodox doctrine. This is why St. Gregory Palamas is now considered in the Orthodox Church not simply as the spokesman for hesychasm, but as expressing the mind of the Church. He is not a father who is peripheral to the Orthodox Church. Rather, he expresses essentially what the Orthodox Church believes.
So, as we can see, in the 14th century, Orthodoxy, quote, dogmatized Palamas's doctrine. To recognize why this is such a serious matter and why it refutes Orthodoxy, we need to understand what Palamas taught. Citations from Palamas's work, The Triads, which we will discuss, can be found in The Triads, edited by Orthodox scholar John Meyendorff and translated by Nicholas Gendel. Palamas taught that in God there is a real distinction between his essence and his energies. The essence, according to Palamas, is absolutely unapproachable and unknowable, and no one will ever see it or commune with it. The energies, however, which are not the essence, are how God manifests himself to man, communes with man, transforms man, etc. Orthodox Bishop Timothy Ware, quote, Gregory developed the distinction between the essence and the energies of God. He affirmed, no single thing has or ever will have even the slightest communion with the supreme nature. But however remote from us in his essence, yet in his energies he has revealed himself to us, end quote. Even though Palamas emphasized that the essence is not the energies and vice versa, he taught that both are fully God. Concerning the energies, he stated, quote, God is entirely present in each of the divine energies, end quote. Now, if the energies are God, and the essence is God, but the energies are not the essence, a person might think, does this not introduce a division into the Godhead and therefore deny that there's one God? As John Meyendorff notes, quote, Palamas's adversaries accused him of introducing duality in God. If the energy is distinct from the essence, are there not two gods? End quote. Palamas denied the accusation that his view divided the Godhead, but the accusation is in fact true, as we will see. Canon 1 of the Second Council of Constantinople in 553, written against the three chapters, is important to consider. Keep in mind that both Catholics and Eastern Orthodox claim to accept the Second Council of Constantinople, and therefore both claim to consider this canon dogmatic. It declared, quote, if anyone does not confess one nature or essence of Father and Son and Holy Spirit, and one power and authority, a consubstantial Trinity to be worshipped as one Godhead in three hypostases or persons, let such a one be anathema, end quote. Note here that the canon dogmatizes a single divine essence, a single divine power and authority, and a consubstantial Trinity to be worshipped as a single Godhead in three persons. Connected with this truth about the single divine essence, the Catholic Church teaches that in God himself all things are one except where there is an opposition of relation which exists between the three divine persons of the Trinity. Accordingly, Catholic theologians have explained that the various divine attributes which we identify in God, such as power, knowledge, justice, love, etc., are in fact identical with the divine essence and with one another. As human beings, we distinguish between God's attributes, such as between His love and His power, because in our created intellects we think composite thoughts, and we can only consider aspects of God's infinite essence through a multiplicity of concepts, and by reasoning from one thing to another. But in God, the attributes are identical with the essence and with one another. That's why Scripture says that God is love, 1 John 4:8. God's divine attribute of love is in fact identical with the divine essence. Likewise, Jesus says, I am the truth, John 14:6. His attribute of truth is identical with the divine essence. God is the truth. Similarly, in the third letter of Cyril to Nestorius, which is often associated with what was accepted by the Council of Ephesus, it says that God is life, and that God the Spirit is wisdom and power. The divine attributes are identical with the divine essence. If, besides the real distinction that exists between the three divine persons in the Trinity, one were to posit a real distinction in God Himself between essence and attributes, or as the Eastern Orthodox do, between essence and energies, one would be positing a distinct divinity, and that denies the truth that there is one God. In this video, we will show that Eastern Orthodoxy's principles result in heresy. Hence, the divine attributes are, in God Himself, really identical with the divine essence and with one another. Now, it should be noted that even though in God Himself the divine attributes are identical with the divine essence and with one another, this does not mean that the various names or attributes applied to God in Holy Scripture or by men, such as good or powerful, are all synonymous, meaningless, or merely a logical/mental distinction. No, the divine essence, God, is an infinite wealth of perfection. Our finite minds cannot attempt to think about this depth and wealth in one concept, so we use many. St. Thomas Aquinas, quote, although the names applied to God signify one thing, that is, the divine essence, still because they signify that thing under many and different aspects, they are not synonymous. He also says, the perfect unity of God requires that what are manifold and divided in others should exist in Him simply and unitedly. Thus it comes about that He is one in reality and yet multiple in idea, because our intellect apprehends Him in a manifold manner as things represent Him, end quote. He also says that the names we use to signify the divine essence do not signify it in a full or perfect way. The distinction that we make between God's various divine attributes is not merely logical but termed virtual, since it has a factual basis in the infinite fullness of God, even though each attribute is in God really the same thing, that is, the divine essence, without any real division or distinction. There is one power and authority of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, as the Second Council of Constantinople declared. The divinity is not divided. But Gregory Palamas says that in God there is the essence and something different from it called the energies. Now, there are many problems, contradictions, and blasphemies in Gregory Palamas's teaching on this issue. Let's first quote Palamas declaring that the essence is different from the energies. Keep in mind that his teaching on this matter is the official teaching of Eastern Orthodoxy. Palamas says, quote, the superessential essence of God is thus not to be identified with the energies, even with those without beginning, end quote. As we can see, Palamas taught that the essence of God is one thing and that the energies are a different thing, but that both are uncreated and therefore God. He says, quote, essence and energy are thus not totally identical in God, even though He is entirely manifest in every energy, end quote. Palamas sometimes describes the uncreated energies as the uncreated light, or as the rays of light that proceed from the essence, even though they are not the divine essence. The quote, uncreated light, that is, the divine energies which are not the essence, is what the Hesychast claimed to see. Quote, the rays are consequently visible to those worthy, although the divine essence is absolutely invisible. And these unoriginate and endless rays are a light without beginning or end. There exists then an eternal light other than the divine essence, end quote. According to Palamas, these energies are an eternal light that is different from, other than, in his words, the divine essence. Palamas teaches that all three persons of the Trinity are present in both the essence and the energies, even though the essence is not the energies. Quote, God is entirely present in each of the divine energies, and, quote, the light, that is, the divine energy, was not a simulacrum of divinity, but truly the light of the true divinity, not only the divinity of the Son, but that of the Father and the Spirit too, end quote. Now, the opposition between Christian dogma on the unity of the Godhead and Palamas's position should be apparent, but watch this. Palamas not only distinguishes between the essence and the energies, but he actually teaches that the essence transcends and surpasses the energies. Palamas, quote, his essence, which exceeds even his uncreated energies, since this essence transcends all affirmation and all negation, end quote, This is flat-out heresy and blasphemy. Palamas has introduced a separate, quote, God, who he admits is exceeded by the divine essence. Palamas also says, quote, but the divine essence that transcends all names also surpasses energy, to the extent that the subject of an action surpasses its object, end quote. Here again he teaches that the divine essence, in which God is fully present, transcends and surpasses the, quote, uncreated energy, in which, according to him, God is also fully present. This is to introduce a separate, quote, God, namely the energies, which he openly declares is surpassed by the other one. It is to introduce and worship a false God. Does one need more proof that Eastern Orthodoxy worships a false God when Palamas teaches that the, quote, uncreated energy is exceeded and surpassed by the divine essence, yet they still consider it to be God? It gets even worse. The heretic Gregory Palamas even says that the divine essence transcends the energies to an infinite degree. Quote, the superessential essence of God is thus not to be identified with the energies, even with those without beginning, from which it follows that it, that is the essence, is not only transcendent to any energy whatsoever, but that it transcends them to an infinite degree and an infinite number of times, end quote. This is Eastern Orthodox theology, folks. It is complete and total heresy. It is polytheism. It denies that there is one God by introducing a division into the Godhead between the essence and the energies, and even by teaching that the energies are transcended by the essence to an infinite degree. Obviously, the essence and the energies cannot be one and the same God when one exceeds and surpasses the other and transcends it to an infinite degree. Now, an Eastern Orthodox heretic has attempted to defend Palamas's heretical position by arguing that such a distinction in God himself between essence and energies doesn't contradict the unity of God, because there are distinctions between the three persons in God, and they don't contradict the unity of God. That argument is totally fallacious. First, Palamas is not talking about a distinction between the divine persons of the Trinity when he talks about essence versus energies. In Eastern Orthodox theology, the energies belong to the divine essence, even though the energies are not the divine essence. As we've seen, Palamas teaches that the energies are the uncreated divinity of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. He teaches that this, quote, uncreated divinity of the energies is surpassed by the uncreated divinity of the essence. That is to introduce two different uncreated divinities, one of which exceeds the other, and that is heretical. There is only one divinity, there is only one God. Second, even if Palamas were talking about a distinction between persons, which he wasn't, his teaching would still be totally heretical, for there is no fourth person in God called the divine energies, and he teaches that the divinity of the energies is exceeded by the divinity of the essence. It's contrary to Christian dogma to say that the divinity of one person of the Trinity exceeds the divinity of another person of the Trinity. They have the exact same divinity. So there is absolutely no way to square Palamas's blasphemous teaching with the Christian faith. As the Athanasian Creed says, quote, in this Trinity there is nothing first or later, nothing greater or less, but all three persons are co-eternal and co-equal with one another, so that in every respect both unity in Trinity and Trinity in unity must be worshipped, end quote. But there is so much more to expose the heresy of Eastern Orthodoxy and Gregory Palamas on this matter. We need to consider it with regard to the immutability of God. In the triads, Palamas refers to the uncreated energies, and he says that not all of them are without beginning. Palamas, quote, we for our part know that while all the energies of God are uncreated, not all are without beginning, end quote. This is an extremely important quotation, for it proves that Palamas and Eastern Orthodoxy reject the immutability of God, in addition to their other heresies. Palamas here teaches that some of the energies are uncreated, yet had a beginning. It's very clear why this is heretical. Before we explain and prove this, we should quote what Palamas says in the next line. He says, quote, indeed, beginning and end must be ascribed, if not to the creative power itself, then at least to its activity, that is to say, to its energy as directed towards created things, end quote. According to Palamas, the energy, and keep in mind that he's talking about, quote, uncreated energy, can have a beginning and even an end. This is heretical, as we will see. Some might attempt an initial response by mentioning that Palamas is referring to uncreated energy or energies that have a beginning in regard to activity directed toward creatures in time. But that doesn't solve the problem because he's still teaching that what is, quote, uncreated can have a beginning, and nothing that has a beginning is uncreated. As St. Thomas Aquinas correctly writes, quote, whatever has a beginning in time is created, end quote. To further confirm that Palamas indeed teaches that some things that begin to exist are, quote, uncreated, he goes on to say in a passage we previously referenced, quote, "The superessential essence of God is thus not to be identified with the energies, even with those without beginning," end quote. This again indicates that according to his position, some uncreated energies do have a beginning. That is heretical. It denies the immutability of God. Here's why. The Creed of Constantinople, which both Catholics and the so-called Orthodox consider dogmatic, affirms that God is the maker of heaven and earth and of all things visible and invisible. Since God is the maker/creator of all things, only God is uncreated. Everything that is not God is a creation. True Christianity also affirms that God alone is without beginning. Since God alone is uncreated, as both the Eastern Orthodox and Catholics must admit, the only way that something could be uncreated yet begin to exist, as the heretic Palamas imagines about certain uncreated energies, is if the energies that began to exist became a part of the uncreated divinity by way of emanation. That's the only way that something could be uncreated yet begin to exist. Well, that would necessarily mean that the uncreated divinity underwent a change by acquiring a new feature, or by expanding, or by receiving a new power, or by becoming something different through this process. That, of course, denies the teaching of Scripture and the councils on the immutability/unchangeableness of God, which is a dogma of the Christian faith. James 1:17, "The Father of lights, with whom there is no variation or shadow due to change." Malachi 3:6, "For I, the Lord, do not change." Scripture is clear. The divinity is immutable. The councils also affirm this truth of divine revelation. In the third letter of Cyril to Nestorius, which is often associated with what was accepted at the Council of Ephesus, we read, quote, "We do not say that his flesh was turned into the nature of the Godhead, or that the unspeakable word of God was changed into the nature of the flesh. For he, the word, is unalterable and absolutely unchangeable, and remains always the same as the Scriptures say," end quote. In the letter of Cyril to John of Antioch, which is associated with Ephesus but formally accepted by the Council of Chalcedon, we read, quote, "Those are quite mad who suppose that a shadow of change is conceivable in connection with the divine nature of the Word. For he remains what he is always and has not been changed, nor can he ever be changed, nor is he capable of change," end quote. In Pope St. Leo the Great's dogmatic tome to Flavian, which was accepted by the Council of Chalcedon in 451, he refers to the, quote, "unchangeable God," end quote. As we can see, it is a truth of the Christian faith that God is immutable/unchangeable in his divinity. But Eastern Orthodoxy and Gregory Palamas definitely deny this dogma of Christianity by teaching that uncreated energies or powers have begun to exist in the uncreated divinity, and therefore that the uncreated divinity changed by acquiring something new or by becoming something different. This by itself proves that Eastern Orthodoxy is a false religion. In fact, to further confirm that Eastern Orthodoxy is guilty of heresy on this point, we will cite Father Dumitru Staniloae. Father Dumitru Staniloae was an Orthodox professor in Romania, and he is considered by many adherents of Eastern Orthodoxy to have been the greatest Eastern Orthodox theologian of the 20th century. In his series on Orthodox dogmatic theology, he openly and repeatedly teaches that God is not immutable in the, quote, uncreated energies. Quote, "God himself changes for our sake in his operations, remaining simple as the source of these operations and being wholly present in each one of them," end quote. As we can see, referring to the uncreated energies which he calls operations, he openly says that God changes in them, even though, according to him, God is wholly present in the changed things. He also says, even more bluntly, quote, "This synthesis found its most pregnant formulation in the Palamite doctrine of the uncreated energies which do change, although they come forth from the essence of God which remains unchanged," end quote. Here we have the heresy of Eastern Orthodoxy spelled out very clearly. They affirm that the essence of God is immutable, but that the, quote, uncreated energies, which they also consider to be God, to be subject to change and therefore not immutable. This proves again that their, quote, uncreated energies, which they imagine to be distinct from the divine essence, are a false God. They profess belief in an uncreated divinity that changes, and that is heresy. They have concocted a false God which they even admit is not immutable, and is transcended by the true God to an infinite degree. Their, quote, God lacks the attributes of the true God because it is a false God. Their religion is heretical. In fact, consider this. The very first ecumenical council after the apostolic period, the Council of Nicaea, in the canon attached to its creed, dogmatically affirmed the immutability of the Son of God and anathematized those who teach the opposite, such as the Eastern Orthodox. The Council of Nicaea Dogmatic Canon 325, quote, "And those who say that there was once when he, the Son of God, was not, or that before he was begotten he was not, or that he was made of things that were not, or that he is of a different substance or essence from the Father, or that he is a creature, or those who assert him to be subject to alteration or change, the Catholic and Apostolic Church anathematizes them." End quote. Consider this very carefully. The Catholic and Apostolic Church anathematizes those who say that the Son of God is subject to change. But Eastern Orthodoxy most certainly teaches that the Son of God is subject to change because it teaches that the Son of God, along with the Father and the Spirit, is the uncreated energies, and that the uncreated energies are subject to change. They are anathema. That means that Eastern Orthodoxy and its heretical teaching about God is refuted, condemned, and anathematized by the very first ecumenical council. What poetic justice against schismatics who have separated themselves from the true Church, the Catholic Church, yet falsely claim to be heirs of the Christian faith affirmed by those councils. To put it another way, if your principles or positions about essence versus energies, grace, etc. lead you to conclude that God is not immutable, as in the case of the Eastern Orthodox, then your principles are wrong and your religion is wrong. One of the reasons that the Eastern Orthodox have fallen into their heresy, which denies the unity of the Godhead and God's immutability, is that in various cases they have confused effects of God's power in creation with the uncreated divinity itself, which causes and brings about those effects. The divine power, which is identical to the divine essence, is of course uncreated. But what the divine power, that is God, brings about in creation, such as a light he causes to appear, or a message he gives to man, is not uncreated. For example, the words of sacred scripture are inspired by Almighty God, but those words are not God. They are created things he has inspired. Those effects are created, unlike the divine power itself that brings them about, that is God, who is uncreated. However, out of a wicked and idolatrous desire to worship various created things as, quote, uncreated, Eastern Orthodoxy has fallen into confusing, in many cases, created effects with the uncreated divinity itself. A primary example of this is their teaching that grace in general is uncreated and therefore God himself, which is wrong. Grace, according to the most common use of the term, is a supernatural but created gift given by God. It is not uncreated, it is not God. By obstinately confusing, in many cases, created effects with the uncreated divinity itself, Eastern Orthodoxy has fallen into heresy and idolatry. In many contexts, their error is subtle, but as we've proven and will further demonstrate, their false teaching developed into full-blown heresy and idolatry with Gregory Palamas. Since they wrongly identify various mutable and created things as the uncreated divinity itself, they consequently fall into denying the immutability of God, a dogma of Christianity. So, we've seen that Orthodoxy's adoption of the Palamite position denies that there is one God, and it denies the immutability of God, dogmas of the Christian faith. Eastern Orthodoxy's heresy also denies the Trinity and the consubstantiality of the persons in the Trinity. The councils of Nicaea, Constantinople, and others affirm the full divinity of the Son, the Lord Jesus Christ. They do so precisely by declaring that he is consubstantial, that is, of the same substance or essence as the Father. Quote, God from God, light from light, true God from true God, begotten not made, consubstantial with the Father. End quote. As we see here, what identifies the Son as true God is that he is consubstantial, that is, of the same essence or substance as the Father. The third letter of Cyril to Nestorius, which is often associated with what was accepted at Ephesus, says, quote, For when he, Jesus, speaks about himself in a divine manner as, He who sees me sees the Father, and I and the Father are one, we consider his ineffable divine nature, according to which he is one with his own Father, through the identity of essence. End quote. Notice, the unity of God, the unity between Father and Son, which of course is shared by the Holy Ghost, is through an identity of essence. But Palamas's position and that of Eastern Orthodoxy denies this dogma. It teaches that in the energies, quote, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost exist in something that is different from the essence. Their, quote, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost in the energies thus lack the identity of essence of the true Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, and are therefore a false God. In fact, it's remarkable how directly Palamas contradicts Cyril's third letter to Nestorius. In teaching that essence and energies are distinct in God, Palamas says that the essence is, quote, not to be identified with the energies, end quote. Note the word identified. But we saw that Jesus is one with his own Father through the identity of essence, through the identical essence. Since Eastern Orthodoxy's, quote, uncreated energies lack the identity of essence that is possessed by the true Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, it is a false God. Eastern Orthodoxy has concocted a false Father, Son, and Holy Ghost in the, quote, uncreated energies, who are not consubstantial, that is, one in essence or substance, with the true Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Also notice that in this statement, as well as in Canon 1 of the Second Council of Constantinople, the terms nature and essence are used synonymously. That's important because when the councils defined the incarnation of the Word, they taught that the Son of God became man, resulting in a union of two unconfused and unmixed natures, that is, the divine nature and the human nature, within one divine person, the Son of God. The councils therefore taught that the power of the divinity is included in the term nature or essence. That contradicts Eastern Orthodoxy, which teaches that the powers or energies of the divinity are distinct from the essence or nature. By the way, after Eastern Orthodoxy formally sided with Palamas's heretical position, Barlaam converted to Catholicism. In one of his letters, Gregory Palamas even distinguished between the essence of God, quote, lying above, and a, quote, divinity/Godhead that is lower, that is, the energies. An Orthodox priest said this about Palamas's words in this regard, quote, it is clear that the first term means rather the higher divinity, and the second means the lower divinity, end quote. This is more proof that Palamas and Eastern Orthodoxy have invented a false God, a, quote, divinity/Godhead that is distinct from the true one. Eastern Orthodoxy is heretical and polytheistic. Gregory Palamas also said, quote, God would not be called more than God if the grace of deification did not exist, so he would not be called more than unoriginate, end quote. This is heresy. We could quote more of Palamas's false teaching on this matter, but as we mentioned, Eastern Orthodoxy also teaches wrongly on grace. Eastern Orthodoxy falsely holds that grace in general is God himself in the, quote, uncreated energies. Orthodox Bishop Timothy Ware, quote, in relation to us humans, the divine energy is in fact nothing else than the grace of God, end quote. This is wrong. Except when an author might speak of the Holy Ghost or refer to God in a certain context as uncreated grace, grace, as the term is most frequently used, is not God. Grace is not uncreated. It is a created supernatural assistance, power, or gift given by God. It is distinct from the uncreated divinity. It is something supernatural that God gives to man. Eastern Orthodoxy applies its false view that grace is uncreated and therefore God, even to the charismatic gifts mentioned in 1 Corinthians, such as miracles, prophecy, speaking in languages, etc. Concerning those, Gregory Palamas says, quote, this is why the saints are the instruments of the Holy Spirit, having received the same energy as he has. As certain proof of what I say, one might cite the charisms of healing, the working of miracles, foreknowledge, end quote. According to Eastern Orthodoxy, all of those charismatic graces are uncreated and therefore God. But that's wrong, and it is disproven by 1 Corinthians 12:31, among other things. Concerning the charismatic gifts or graces, it says, quote, but earnestly desire the greater gifts, end quote. Notice that some of the gifts/graces are greater than others, but in God there is not greater or less. This proves that the graces described there, such as miracles, healing, etc., are not uncreated. Rather, they are created supernatural gifts from God. They are supernatural gifts given to men in time. Catholicism is correct, Eastern, quote, Orthodoxy is wrong. Grace, according to the most common use of the term, is not God, but rather a supernatural gift or power from God. Since the adherents of Eastern Orthodoxy wrongly believe that grace, including justifying grace, is uncreated, when in fact it is a created supernatural endowment and an effect of God's power, this has led them into heretical views on deification and a misinterpretation of 2 Peter 1:4, whereby they essentially worship themselves and others among them who they believe have been justified by a reception of the, quote, uncreated energy, a self-worship that is similar to what we see in Eastern pagan religions. Here are some quotes from Palamas which reveal that Eastern Orthodoxy's theology and understanding of deification is heretical and self-worshipping. Keep in mind that we've already demonstrated that the, quote, uncreated light they claim to experience is a false god, a god who they admit is exceeded by the true God. They are worshiping this false light, this false god, which is not immutable or consubstantial with the true God, and they are trying to find it or experience it within themselves. Palamas, quote, The saints contemplate this divine light within themselves, end quote. Although a person is powerfully and supernaturally changed and regenerated in Christian justification, he does not become God. Christianity is not about contemplating light within yourself, but Eastern Orthodoxy and self-worshipping paganism are. Palamas, quote, "He who has received this light, by concentrating upon himself, constantly perceives in his mind that same reality which the children of the Jews called manna," end quote. Again, we see the focus on oneself, the self-worship. That's because, as we've shown, the, quote, light they are looking for is a false god. It's their false god of the, quote, uncreated energies, which they admit is surpassed by the divine essence. Palamas, quote, "Those who have also obtained spiritual and supernatural grace know spiritually in a manner beyond sense and intelligence that God is spirit, for they have become entirely God, and know God in God," end quote. This is heresy. Palamas also says, "Those who attain it become thereby uncreated, unoriginate, and indescribable. How could every saint become uncreated by grace if this grace is created?" End quote. This is heretical and pagan self-worship. Palamas says that man becomes uncreated and unoriginate by a reception of justifying grace. No, man does not. In fact, notice that Scripture teaches exactly the opposite when describing New Testament justification. 2 Corinthians 5:17, quote, "Therefore if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation," end quote. Note the word creation. Christian justification results in a new creation, not a new, uncreated, unoriginate thing. Scripture teaches the opposite of Eastern Orthodoxy and Palamas. Galatians 6:15, quote, "For neither circumcision nor uncircumcision avails anything, but a new creation," end quote. Colossians 3:10, quote, "And having put on the new, the one being renewed unto knowledge according to the image of the one who created him," end quote. Ephesians 2:10, "For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works." Note again that the new man, supernaturally changed by justifying grace, is created in his new state. A justified man does not become uncreated by grace. Eastern Orthodoxy is heresy. It worships man. These verses also prove that Catholicism is correct when it teaches that justifying righteousness, that is, sanctifying grace, is a supernatural yet created grace. To enter Christ Jesus and receive first justification is to become a new creation, not to become uncreated, as Eastern Orthodoxy heretically teaches. Here's another quote which illustrates that Palamas taught polytheism. Keep in mind that he believes that both the essence and the rays are God. Quote, "In the first place, that essence is one, even though the rays are many, and are sent out in a manner appropriate to those participating in them, being multiplied according to the varying capacity of those receiving them." End quote. This is polytheism and heresy, for he teaches that the rays, which are God in his view, are multiplied according to the capacity of those who receive the rays. Eastern Orthodoxy believes that the uncreated divinity mutates and multiplies into various forms, and that is not Christian. It's also ironic that while the Eastern Orthodox claim that their theology safeguards a direct experience of God himself, they are in fact the ones who deny that, for they hold that no man can ever, even in heaven, see the divine essence or commune with it, but only with the, quote, energies. Whereas true Christianity, that is Catholicism, teaches that a person who is in heaven has his intellect illuminated by the light of glory and can see the divine essence directly, although never to the extent of fully exhausting its infinite mysteries, etc. 1 John 3:2, quote, "When he shall appear, we shall be like to him, because we shall see him as he is," end quote. St. Thomas Aquinas explains why it's false to hold, as Eastern Orthodoxy does, that a man can never, even in heaven, actually see the divine essence. He explains that such a view is to be rejected, quote, "first, because it is in contradiction to the authority of canonical scripture, as Augustine declares. Secondly, because since understanding is an operation most proper to man, it follows that his happiness must be held to consist in that operation when perfected in him. Now, since the perfection of an intelligent being as such is the intelligible object, if in the most perfect operation of his intellect man does not attain to the vision of the divine essence but to something else, we shall be forced to conclude that something other than God is the object of man's happiness. And since the ultimate perfection of a thing consists in its being united to its principle, it follows that something other than God is the effective principle of man, which is absurd. Consequently, according to us, it must be asserted that our intellect, if we get to heaven, will attain to the vision of the divine essence." End quote. By denying that the blessed in heaven can see the divine essence, Eastern Orthodoxy denies that God himself is the ultimate object of man's happiness. It should also be noted that in addition to mutilating the true doctrine of God, Gregory Palamas regularly abuses fathers of the Church. He frequently cites them out of context in the hope of finding a precedent for his heresy, but Palamas was an innovator, and even if one came across some inaccurate statements of the fathers, and they certainly exist, it would never, of course, justify concocting the totally heretical theology that Eastern Orthodoxy has now formally embraced. Eastern Orthodox heretics sometimes claim that the Cappadocian Fathers, that is, Basil the Great, Gregory Nyssa, and Gregory Nazianzen, taught Palamas's position. But their assertion is false. J.P. Udre wrote an article called Palamas and the Cappadocians. It carefully examines some of the main passages of the Cappadocian Fathers that adherents of Eastern Orthodoxy bring up in this regard. It demonstrates that the aforementioned Fathers did not teach what Palamas did, namely, that in God himself there is a real distinction between what is unknowable, that is the essence, and what is knowable, that is the energies. Quote, consequently, there is with the Cappadocians no thought at all of making a real distinction in God, as Palamas will do, between what is unknowable, the inaccessible, incomprehensible, invisible, imparticipable essence, and what is knowable, the uncreated, visible, comprehensible, nameable, participable energy or energies distinct from the essence. Upon this vital point, we ought to note the profound disagreement that exists between the thought of the Cappadocian Fathers and that of Gregory Palamas. Consequently, it does not seem to us possible to speak of a beginning of the Palamite distinction among the Fathers of the 4th century. End quote. But what is most important in this regard is not what certain Fathers said, but what is taught in Scripture and by the Church at the Councils, and they clearly prove that Eastern Orthodoxy is heretical. This is most obviously seen in Eastern Orthodoxy's belief in a, quote, God, who they admit is exceeded and surpassed by the divine essence, and in their denial of God's immutability. In this video, we have proven that Eastern Orthodoxy's official theology denies that there is one God by introducing a real division into the Godhead between essence and energies. It concocts a false God that is not consubstantial with the true God, but inferior to it to an infinite degree. It denies the immutability of God by teaching that the divinity can change, and that things can be uncreated, yet begin to exist. It falsely teaches that justifying righteousness is uncreated, a mistake they have adopted to the point of teaching self-worshipping idolatry. Their theology is the blasphemous doctrine of a false religion, and it's comparable in various ways to the false religions that exist among Eastern pagans. Following the Eastern schismatics' break from the Catholic Church, when they denied the papacy in 1054, God was not protecting them or their teaching. It's quite interesting that after they were cut off from the vine by rejecting the papacy, the Eastern schismatics fell into heresy on the doctrine of God that made them comparable to the polytheistic and pagan religions of the East, as we've demonstrated in this video. In addition to teaching polytheism, many of those religions deny the immutability of God by teaching that the divinity can mutate. It's not just a coincidence, in our view, that God allowed the Eastern schismatics to become comparable to the Eastern pagans following their arrogant rejection of the papacy established by Jesus Christ. In addition to its heresies on the doctrine of God, Eastern Orthodoxy has many other serious doctrinal problems. It allows divorce and, quote, remarriage, which is a rejection of Jesus' teaching in the gospel. It rejects the primacy of authority which Christ clearly conferred upon St. Peter, and more. Yet one of the reasons that many have adopted the false religion of Eastern Orthodoxy and remained blind to its heresies and contradictions is that they are consumed by externals. Externals play a huge role in Eastern Orthodoxy. Externals make them feel as if they are holy, when in fact they are not, since they don't have the true faith. In a similar way, many people have become or remained Mormons, despite the Mormons' extremely heretical doctrine of God. People find the singing or the communal aspects of Mormonism appealing, and they remain blind to or unconcerned about the major doctrinal problems. Since they aren't sincerely seeking the truth, God allows them to remain in darkness. In charity, we call on all members of Eastern Orthodoxy and all non-Catholics to recognize these facts and embrace the one true faith of Jesus Christ, the traditional Catholic faith, outside of which there is no salvation.